Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be doing my November wrap up. As with October and September, I've been reading less than I would normally read, but I'm still reading quite a lot of books. However, I'm just struggling this year to find 5-star reads. I don't know why, whether it's how I'm picking my books or the type of books that I'm picking, or I don't know what has caused this, but I'm really struggling to find 5-star reads. Anyway, let's do what we always do. We'll go through a little bit of a general information about my month, and then we'll look at the books and the star ratings. So this month I've read 15 things. There's been 1 2-star read, there's been 5 3-star reads, and there's been 9 4-star reads, so not a bad month at all. In here I've had 1 YA fantasy, there's been 4 graphic novels, 5 comic single issues, and 5 contemporary reads, and one of those is an adult contemporary, the rest were YA contemporaries. So a various bag, and quite a lot of comics and graphic novels in there because of mine and Caitlin's Let's Get Graphic readathon that we ran, which is our one-day graphic novel readathon. And so it's been a bit of a mixed bag, and there's certainly not been as much fiction, sort of novel reading as I've hoped. I fully intended to read non-fiction for Non-Fiction November, and I did start a non-fiction, but I just wasn't able to focus on a non-fiction this month. I don't know why, I just couldn't get through a whole one, so I'm a little bit disappointed at that. But these things happen, and it was really important for me this month just not to slip into not reading at all, because I didn't like what I was picking up and I wasn't sort of motivated to pick it up. So I'm really trying to just mood read and pick books that excite me and try and pick a book that is calling to me at that time. So that's what I did. So let's go through the specific books. 2 stars was Grim Reaper. For 3 stars there was Snow Like Ashes, Faith Volume 1, Angelic Issue 1, Glitterbomb Volume 1, Fierce Kingdom, and with 4 stars, Eliza and Her Monsters, Cartel Issues 1 and 2, The Jetsons Issue 1, The Runaways Issue 1 and 2, I Hate Fairyland Issues 9 and 10, Saga Volume 7, Something Real, Nantucket Blue, and Nantucket Red. There isn't a particular book this month that I want to talk about. There's none that stood out as runaway hits for me. However, there is 2 books that I mentioned there that I haven't talked about on my channel, so I'm going to mention those. They both got 4 stars, and that was Nantucket Blue and Nantucket Red, and these are both by Layla Howland. These are YA contemporary stories about a girl called Cricket. In the first one, I've just finished her, now I don't know American terms, it's the year before senior year. Is that sophomore? Junior? Anyway, she's just finished the year before her senior year. And she's very close with her best friend's family, and there is something that happens and this causes their sort of summer plans to go awry. Cricket's family are very sort of middle class. Her parents are teachers, and often she spends her summer working as a babysitter in order to get money for the year. And she knows that she's going to need money. She's saving up for college, and so she feels like maybe that's going to happen this year. She has an invitation by her best friend's family to come and spend time with them on Nantucket for the summer, which is somewhere where they go every year, and there's a lot of sort of beach parties and yacht clubs and rich people, and she jumps at the chance to go. Because of what transpires and the sort of big reveal in this, she then ends up having to work for the summer, and things aren't quite as she expects. What I really enjoyed about this, and obviously I'm not going to go into detail in the plot of the second book, however that is then set a year later, I really enjoyed how these books I felt were more realistic. I feel sometimes that the issues that we covered in books aren't dealt very realistically. I feel like some of the topics that were raised in this, they were handled very well. They were handled in a way that I felt that the repercussions would have been the same in real life, if that makes sense. And I really enjoyed how how the relationships and the romantic aspects of this were dealt with. There's no love triangle, there isn't insta love, there's really realistic relationships and the progression of relationships in terms of the sexual side of it. There is some really good friendships, and we're looking at friendships and friendship dynamics and who has the power in friendships and toxic friendships and how you should treat your friends and how to you know, how new friends are made, and I really liked that. In the second book, especially in Nantucket Red, we are set just before Cricket is going to college, and we look very much here at how plans can change, how what you want to do with your life can be affected, and how to deal with that, how to change how your life is going to make it suit what you want, and how to approach that. It also looks at mistakes you might make, how these might impact the rest of your life, and yeah, I don't know, I just felt that these were very solid books with some really interesting topics that I don't always see in YA, and I felt they were dealt with very well. There is some really present families, which I know if you've watched my channel before, I really like there to be present parents and present families. You know, people don't just pop up and do what they want. There's got to be people there in their life, and Cricket comes from a divorced family, and so that aspect is very interesting. What happens when people move on and the dynamics of your family change, so that's always also covered. There is a look at grief and bereavement and the different forms that takes. There's just so much in these books. There's so much to think about. There's so much to take away from them, and they left me thinking and questioning things, and I can still remember the plot now, and it's been a few weeks, which I think is really important. So yeah, I definitely recommend these if you're looking for some really good contemporary reads. These are definite winners for me. So I think it's just a duology. So Nantucket Blue and Nantucket Red, they're really pretty books. They've got this really lovely sort of feel to them as well. So yeah, definitely recommend those. They were both 4 stars for me. So if you're looking for a good contemporary read set in the summer, I definitely pick these up. So we're now moving into December, and there won't be a TBR going up for my December because I shall be starting my December advent calendar, which if you want to find out more, I will leave the video talking about that linked above. It's something I did last year. I've made it a little bit less pressurized for this year, but there's still a bit of pressure, let's face it. There is a bit of pressure. So I've got one more book to finish before I start that, but I'm starting that on the 1st of December, so watch this space for a video coming on the 3rd of December. That will be my first video about the Advent, because although I will be opening my first Advent on the 1st, I won't be putting up my first video to the 3rd, so that I can review the book that I have opened in my Bookie Advent calendar. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you more in December. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get it all working, and I hope you're all having a good end of December and looking forward to Christmas as much as I am. Anyway, that's it from me. Bye for now, BookTube.